Hey traders, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at PepsiCo. Ticker symbol is PEP because it's had a pretty nice descent from its highs at about 196 back in January down to right now we closed today at 129. And I think this one's close to ultimately finding a bottom and going higher from here. So let's look at the charts together and let's see if you guys kind of see the same things I do. So right out of the gate, I want to start on a weekly time frame just because there's just kind of a lot of time on this one, right? So you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, essentially 5 waves down. I do think this is going a little bit lower, and I'm going to show you why. But you had a nice kind of impulse move down. You had this bear flag. Well, you had a couple bear flags. So you had this little bear flag here. You have this bear flag here. You have this bear flag, and then you have this final one. So now we're into kind of these lows right here, into this bottom end of this demand zone, right? So if I draw that on, you can see this is a demand zone, this whole area here, and we're not looking too hot in it. So we're at the bottom end of it, and it doesn't look like it's getting any love, right? So from here, I see this going a little bit lower, and I'm going to show you why. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of identify the fibs on it. So from this low to this high, let's just take a quick look at the fib. So a couple things to take note of. We on this 0.382, we had a nice little reaction from it, and from here we rallied up and then fell back through, went through the 50. So when that happens to me, I know it's going lower. So we didn't have the same type of reaction here. It went lower, basically kissed the 0.618 fib, and then had its reaction back to the 382, and then obviously, like I said, it's going to go lower. So now we're through the golden pocket decisively. So whenever I see this, I know it's going to go to that 0.786 fib, right? And that, my friends, lines up with this demand zone. So I want to draw this on here for you. So you have kind of this whole, it depends on where you draw it and how you draw it. But essentially, you know, this is the demand zone on the weekly, right? You have this zone here. If we draw this all the way across, take this over, you'll have the top of that demand zone. And you identify it as demand zone based on this price action here, and you can even take this a little bit higher because you have those weekly closes. So look at that, it aligns perfectly, literally perfectly, with the 0.86 fib at 122. Now I want to show you guys something else that's super interesting. So what I see here is a head and shoulders breakdown. Right? You have your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. So let me put that on for you guys so you can see it. Boom. Right? You have these highs here. So if I draw this, and this is how you would basically draw that head and shoulders, but you have these highs essentially here. Right? And that goes all the way across. Let's put it there. Because that you get this high, you get this low, you get that pivot low, you get that pivot low, you get your breakdown. So technically you could draw your head and shoulders from this as the neckline, but I was a little bit more conservative with that just based on that retrace here. But either one really works, and if you put it right there, you'd have your price range move. I want to show you this. So now, depending on where, if you had your neckline here, look how perfectly that aligns. Look at that. It aligns literally with the measured move from the top of the head breakdown. So right, so all I did was I took this, you draw this from the top of the head, okay, there to the bottom of the neckline, okay, so I'm using that first one, and then you take this, you move it down to where it broke down, and yep, right there. So that's the first line, right? So if you make that your neckline, which I think that's more of the neckline, you're going to have a perfect alignment with the 0.786 fib. If you decided, oops, let me take that back. If you decided, oh, why is it doing that, my friends? Okay, so if you decided this was your breakdown of the neckline, which is also valid, would take you a little bit lower to 118. So my buy zone for my first initial leg into this is going to be 118 to 122. 0.786 fib, right? Anywhere in that range, depending on price action gets there, is buy level number 1. Buy level number 2, so let's just note that real quick, and let's put those on for everybody. We're going to want to go with a price label. Okay, so price point number 1, buy level 1 for me is that 0.68 fib right there, 122, and within a couple cents, right? So next one would be the median line, so that would be dollar cost average 0.2, and then very last one would be bottom end of that range or that demand zone. So those would be my 3 dollar cost average levels if I were to be getting in this trade. And I do like the look of this. I like the technicals behind this. I like it all. I think it's solid. So I will personally be going into a position at that 122, then dollar cost averaging at these next key levels. And then you have your 100% retracement, which takes you all the way back to that level there, which would be, my friends, it would be $100 if we got all the way down there. Now that would take basically the market would break down and things would not look very good for any of our positions. But those would be our levels. So I think this one presents really good value. Oh, the other thing I'm seeing too is we're getting bullish divergence on the RSI. And let me show you that, guys and gals. So we have lower lows on the price, right? That's obvious. Lower lows on the price. And then we have higher highs on the RSI. So that is what we call, and if I can draw this here, see those higher highs, boom. I don't know why I did that, but let's take that off. So you have your higher highs on the RSI, but you have your lower lows on your price. That is bullish divergence. So this is a multi-factor trade at that 0.786 fib. Again, I like the setup. I'll personally be taking it. And yeah, I just share this for educational purposes only. Always no financial advice will be given on this channel. It's only to show you what I'm doing in my personal portfolio, my trading strategies, how I see the charts, and ultimately what I'm going to be doing. So hopefully everyone found value in this video. And if you did, show me some love. It's a new channel. Smash that like button. If you'd like to get alerted on plays like this and others like it, swing trading, day trading, crypto, ETFs, commodities, I'm doing these analysis daily, mainly in the evenings, sometimes in the early mornings, and obviously on the weekends. Tick that little bell. Make sure you get subscribed, and you'll get a live alert. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, J Hill Trading or Josh Hill Trading, as well as on TikTok. So I'm on all the platforms, really trying to bring this to you guys in a timely fashion so we all make a lot of money along the way. And I hope you guys have a great trading day tomorrow and this week, and let's make a lot of money together. Thanks, guys. Take care until the next one. Bye now.